It's funny how the Bomas of Kenya auditorium looks like barely half an hour after what was the most historic process under the new constitution. Look at how the place is littered up, the chairs are everywhere, and how people have abandoned a hall that for the last 5 days was the embodiment of the hopes and expectations of a successful electoral process. How did it happen? How was it the last 5 days?
Abakarua 82, Mohammed Dida 51.
This is 3 a.m. Saturday, around the time when the final tally of constituency votes was being read out to an exhausted but patient crowd, eager journalists, optimistic observers and political party agents. That sigh of relief evident then, but it was from this moment that the final test of patience would be tested.
The commission will be here again, beginning work at 6:30, and that is why we gave the time of 11 o'clock, so that we can sort out any issues on our side and any issues on your side.
By 8 a.m., most people had already taken their seats and the podium had already been set ahead of the 11 a.m. announcement. But when it got to 11 a.m. and there was no sign of IEBC Chair Isaac Hassan or his commissioners, the audience became impatient. Enough that when the team finally arrived at 2 p.m., all many wanted was that they skip the pleasantries and go straight to the announcement. But that was not to be.
Thank you very much NHIF. With that song, Bendera yetu ya Kenya ndiyo kitambulisho changu. We now invite Safari Voices International with one song.
It had been a trying but mostly exhausting process for many.
I had thought that being a chief executive officer is a tough job, but this election has taught me one thing. I would rather stay where I am than go up.
But one that culminated in this interesting three-phased transition, seeing Uhuru Kenyatta arrive at the Bomas of Kenya with his minor security detail in tow as a presidential hopeful, confirmed as Kenya's fourth president-elect, and leave via a presidential escort that toppled his initial security detail. And just like that, it was over at the Bomas of Kenya. All the preparations, all the well-laid plans having served that intended purpose.
Just a few weeks ago, I was on this exact podium explaining how the electoral process will be and how the chair of the IEBC, Isaac Hassan, will come on this podium and announce the president-elect. Today, that process has come to pass. Was it fair? Was it free? Was it transparent? Those are the questions that will be answered in the coming days. Evelyn Wambui, Citizen TV at the Bomas of Kenya in Nairobi.